So it has been made official. CM Punk meets Drew McIntyre one-on-one August the 3rd, Cleveland, Ohio, SummerSlam 2024. It is going down, and the special guest referee is Seth friggin' Gaga. Seth freak. I had to, guys. I mean, come on. Those outfits, man. Lady Gaga. Well, Seth friggin' Rollins, special guest referee. And this is a first ever. History will be made at SummerSlam. For the first time ever, CM Punk gets in the ring with Drew McIntyre. In this video, I'm going to include a clip from the Rumor and Innuendo podcast on from YouTube. You can go to their YouTube channel, Rumor and Innuendo. They are also a part of ad-free shows. It is Robert Karpelis and Dominic D'Angelo for a half an hour, Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern Time. Go check it out. One of my favorite podcasts that I listen to and participate in some of the live chat banter. And a couple of times, they kind of like, our mindsets are very similar. It's very weird. Like, I'll put out a video and I'll be talking about something, and then it's like Robert Karpelis like nails the note that I should have said. He says it, and he says it better, or he says it in a different way than I would have said it. And I just feel like our conversations would flow very, very well, and time would like fly. But anyways, so they did answer one of my opinions that I put on their podcast this past Tuesday, and so I'm going to leave it in here. So check it out, and then we're going to talk about it.
That the Wrestling Old Head was referencing,
yes,
was the idea that this is going to be Shawn Michaels versus, Bret Hart versus The Undertaker at SummerSlam 97, with Shawn as the referee. Yes.
That was Robert Karpelis and Dominic D'Angelo from the Rumor and Innuendo podcast, Monday through Friday on YouTube or ad-free shows, 12 noon Eastern. It's a half an hour, guys. It should really be an hour. But yes, I do believe they're going with SummerSlam 2024 is going to mirror in many ways SummerSlam 1997, Heart and Soul, Bret the Hitman Hart against The Undertaker for the WWF Championship with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. I actually watched that pay-per-view live, very excited for it. And if they go this route, I'm telling you, they're really going to have to kind of reconfigure whose role is in what position, right? Because on the surface, if you look at it, Shawn Michaels, obviously Seth Rollins. There's a lot of parallels there. Bret Hart, the parallel naturally, based on history, should be CM Punk, right? Because CM Punk is a Bret Hart guy for all intents and purposes. There's a lot there. And Drew McIntyre, of stature and size and just overall dominance, you would put in the Undertaker category, right? I mean, it's just right there in front of you. If you look at the way that it's all set up, that makes sense, right? Wrong. You're wrong. Drew McIntyre is going to have to be Bret Hart in this scenario. Seth Rollins will be Shawn Michaels. CM Punk will be The Undertaker. And I'm going to tell you why. I believe Drew McIntyre is walking away from this match victorious. I believe that Drew McIntyre needs this win more than CM Punk needs this win. And it makes a whole lot of sense. CM Punk coming back, he's going to have to work his way back up to the ranks. And first of all, they're going to need to know that he can stay healthy. And I love CM Punk. I've done many videos about CM Punk. Go back and look at him. I've given that guy a ton of praise. One of my favorite guys right now in professional wrestling. But he's also going to need to work his way back into the good graces of WWE by showing him that he can stay healthy, by showing them that he can play ball and take a loss. And I think he's invested in this program. If you go back to the Survivor Series when he showed up for the first time, returned, when he made his triumphant return into the WWE, who were the two guys that were pissed off? I mean, legitimately, or we thought legitimately, right? We really thought legitimately pissed off. Seth Rollins, because that was on camera. But Drew McIntyre stormed off way before Seth Rollins had his tangent and started yelling and cursing, Drew McIntyre stormed off, and we heard that he grabbed his bags and he jetted out of there in the backstage area, and he was legitimately pissed off. So I think we were being worked. I think WWE did a phenomenal job of getting us to buy into CM Punk being that we don't want you here. A lot of the guys there being like, we don't want you here. We don't want you in this locker room. And they hatched a wonderful plan to get us invested in this program, what I feel is the feud of the year. And they haven't even had a match yet, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. And they inserted Seth Rollins. And let me rephrase that. Actually, they inserted Drew McIntyre. Because if you go back, it really was Seth Rollins and CM Punk going one-on-one. That was the trajectory. CM Punk got hurt at the Royal Rumble, and they had to pivot. And CM Punk, once he got hurt, Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre already kind of had like a thing, like a feud kind of brewing there. So they just went with that. So they really kind of inserted Drew McIntyre into the CM Punk Seth Rollins scenario, but it really just took on a mind of its own with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, where they actually started to take the front stage there with their feud after Seth Rollins left after WrestleMania 40 and took his 73-day hiatus. So really, if you look at it, it's just been done beautifully. And let me go back to saying what I think how this should conclude with Drew being victorious is because CM Punk can afford this loss coming back from an injury. Drew McIntyre has taken 2 losses because of CM Punk. And in the last one, Seth Rollins felt like he was screwed as well. So how you do this, for those that have not gone back and watched Bret Hart against The Undertaker at SummerSlam 97, spoiler alert. Okay? Bret Hart had a steel chair. Shawn Michaels grabbed the steel chair from Bret Hart. Bret Hart talked a bunch of smack to Shawn Michaels. He spit at Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels grabbed the chair, swung back, tried to hit Bret Hart. Bret Hart ducked. He nailed Undertaker with the steel chair. Bret Hart covered him. Shawn Michaels had to count the 3, and he was pissed off to do it. But he did it anyways. That led to Ground Zero, Undertaker against Shawn Michaels. And then that led to Bad Blood in a Hell in a Cell. Sound familiar? So after SummerSlam, we've got Bash at Berlin. CM Punk against Seth Rollins. And then we've got Bad Blood. CM Punk against Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell. Now, granted, it's kind of Drew McIntyre and The Undertaker position for Hell in a Cell. But right now, he's the one that's kind of going around going like, I've been screwed by the World Wrestling Federation. I've been screwed by Sexy Boy Toy. I've been screwed by McMahon. I mean, obviously, he's not talking like that. That's like how Bret Hart would do it. But you get the idea, you know? So, CM Punk, and I did another video where I said he'd be better off as a heel. In this scenario, this actually works as a face. And they kind of brought me back into it because for a while, I thought they were kind of towing the line a little bit as CM Punk going heel because of just the way that he was doing things, you know? It's like, but, you know, I look at things through a certain lens. You know, I'm old school. They really tied it up beautifully with Drew McIntyre coming out and saying, you know, like Green Bay doesn't deserve this type of a match and all that. I thought they really tied it up very nicely there. So, I think that this works in establishing Drew McIntyre as a heel, CM Punk as kind of like the tweener, and Seth Rollins as a face. And I believe CM Punk as a tweener because I believe when he starts feuding with Seth Rollins or when they have that match, there's gonna be a divided crowd. And I think there's going to be a lot of fans on Seth Rollins' side during that match. And I think that's really what they're setting CM Punk for. He's going to get some boos. He's not going to be favored in that match. And then I think that that's when you do something with Drew leading to CM Punk and Drew in a cage, no interference. And then you can do the triple threat. And you can do, there's so many different ways that you can go after that. But the layout, as far as I'm concerned, 1997, SummerSlam 97, Heart and Soul, Ground Zero was after that, Bad Blood was after that. The only difference is you have Bash in Berlin. That's the only difference. So yeah, I think they're going to go with that. I think that is the logical conclusion to Drew McIntyre against CM Punk. I think Seth Rollins lays CM Punk out with a steel chair or something of that sort and then has to count the 3, but is not happy to do it. And that makes Seth Rollins and CM Punk even. And then they go into the ring at Bash in Berlin. And hopefully CM Punk is healthy and we get that match. And then that leads into Hell in a Cell. Beautifully Hell in a Cell. Or you do the first ever triple threat Hell in a Cell between Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk. Has there ever been a triple threat Hell in a Cell? I'm asking for a friend. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Has there ever been a... Because if there hasn't, that would be a hell of a first Hell in a Cell triple threat match, wouldn't it? It would make a whole lot of sense, wouldn't it? I would do it. I would do it. Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk in a Hell in a Cell. Oh, man, that's money. What a way to bring back a 27-year-old pay-per-view. What a way to bring back a 27-year-old pay-per-view. Bad Blood, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match. I've convinced myself. What about you? Are you convinced? What do you guys think? How do you think this CM Punk, Drew McIntyre first ever encounter at SummerSlam 2024 is going to conclude? You guys let me know in the comments. Thumbs up on the way out, you guys. Let me know in the comments if you've ever watched that Bret Hart-Undertaker match, if you were alive when that Bret Hart-Undertaker match took place, and if you think the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre match should go that way. Let me know in the comments, you guys. Wrestling fans, as always, stay tuned for much, much more.